What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to The Nerdy Narrative, where today I will be going over my September monthly wrap-up. These will be all of the books that I read during the month of September and how I rated each one. So we're just going to dive right in with the first book that I completed in the month of September, which is One Foot in the Fade by Luke Arnold. This is the third book in the Fetch Phillip archives. I think I was told this was a trilogy. I certainly hope that is not the case. I hope this is an ongoing series because I absolutely loved this book. My urban fantasy friends out there, you're going to want to go ahead and pick you up your own personal copy of this series because this is a fantastic series. In addition to that, the covers on these are just outstanding. Next here in the stack, we'll just go ahead and call it for what it is. My most disappointing read of the month, probably the year. I have been looking forward to this book for so long, and all of the tags leading up to it that asked me, what is your most anticipated new release for 2022? This was my answer, and it was a huge letdown for me. Now, I do have some friends that did enjoy it. They enjoyed it more than me. I regret purchasing this one. Fortunately, on the coattails of finishing Fairy Tale, I picked up Star Mark Rising by Shami Stovall. This is the first book in the Star Mark trilogy. It is about genetically modified humans and superhumans in space. If you love the movie Top Gun, you love the antics of Maverick. If you took that movie, put it in a space setting, and added a lot more action, you're gonna have Star Mark Rising. Absolutely love this book. Again, we have another gorgeous cover here. So my sci-fi loving bookworms out there, this is one you're gonna want to own. The cover for the second one looks even more amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on that one. The next book that I completed in September is Rats, Bats, and Vats by Eric Flint and Dave Freer, and this was a surprise hit for me. The title comes from the types of characters we have. Rats and bats that are cyber uplifted, so they have speech. They also have their own personality while retaining some of the characteristics that is their first nature. And vats comes from humans that were clones, and then we do have some regular humans, although they're a little few and far between. This hilarious tale opens up, disaster has struck. The story is this group is trying to escape the underground tunnels of the alien maggots, and it is amazing. It was my patron pick of the month. I'm so grateful that Star recommended this one to me. I would have never found it on my own. I want to say this was published back in 2000. It does have an audiobook available through Audible, and I will absolutely be reading the second book in this series. The next book that I finished is A Test of Courage by Justina Ireland. My husband and I are reading the Star Wars books, the ones that are currently labeled as canon by Disney. We all know that can change at any time. We're using the Penguin Random House audiobook publishing list of all of these. They're in chronological order. I'll include that list down in the description below if you want to check it out. We really enjoyed A Test of Courage. It's more of a novella than it is a book. It brought us back to the core of what we love about Star Wars, especially with the Jedi, the Padawans and their masters, other Jedis interacting with each other, and learning more about the Jedi and the Force, which we got in this one. I really loved it. This was the first one that had a droid character, and J6 stole the show. So thankfully, this book reignited our excitement for continuing the series, which we will be doing very soon. Next up, through NetGalley and Angry Robot Books, I got the arc for Gemma Amour's Full Immersion. I love how Gemma blended the science fiction genre with horror, this tale of untreated depression over time, what it can do to someone. It is fantastic. You know what? Now might be a good time to mention, for all of the books that I'm talking about here today, I do have written reviews for each and every one of them. I'll put a link to my website down below. Each of those links will have the book description as well as my written review underneath. So if you want to get a little bit more information about all of these before making your decision on if you would like to pick one up, you'll just simply be able to click the link, get all of that information as well as how to purchase the book if you'd like. This next book is one that the more time that passes after I've read it, the more that I think about it, the more that I like it. This book is so deep. In my written review, I do mention that this isn't a book you plan to read. You read it when you're in the mood for some really deep thinking. Philosopher lovers, this is definitely one for you. And I even thought to myself, I don't think I'm the right type of reader for this kind of book. But the more that I thought about it, the more that I have talked about it, I have talked about this book so much with my friends. It's what the story made me think about and explore internally. You know, I'm just stuck on What do I tell you in order for you to make the determination if this is a book for you? It is included in Kindle Unlimited, so if you're a subscriber to that service, you can download it, read a few chapters, and see what you think, if you think it's one for you or not. Although I would encourage you to try and finish it if you do start it, because it's after I finished the book that my enjoyment really started from it. So this one I feel like I'm just really no help to you on. Sorry. Next here is The Maid by Nita Prose. This was the one that was voted for the Wine and Crime Book Club for September, and I absolutely love this book. Cannot wait to reread it. I love the character of Molly Gray, a neurodivergent individual who sees the world differently, and I got to see the world from her point of view. And I saw how she viewed interactions with others and how those people interacted with her and viewed her, and it was just it is a thriller. It's a murder mystery, but to me, it's more of a character study about Molly Gray. I love this one. I'm so glad that I happened to see it at Barnes & Noble a few weeks ago and picked up a hard copy, because I cannot wait to reread this book. When I mentioned Chris and I were buddy reading the Star Wars canon books, and I said we read A Test of Courage, there was actually another one that we listened to called Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. That one we did not like at all. Just, I would say skip that one. After having read the third book in the series chronologically, there was nothing in Light of the Jedi that you need to know going forward. In fact, Light of the Jedi just kind of repeated the same thing over and over, and it was annoying. Next here is my one and only DNF for the month of September, Redwood and Wildfire by Andrea Hairston. This is my first piece by her. I do have another one of her books on my shelves called Master of Poisons that I've been told by Andrea from the channel Novel Ideas. It's written in a different style, so I'm definitely going to try that one. Just because this one didn't connect with me, that doesn't mean I'm going to give up on the author. This one, I just did not connect or like any of the characters. I think I made it to about the midway point of this story before I threw in the towel. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't know where the story was going, what the plot was. What you read on the flap had not even happened by the time you're halfway through the story, and I just had no interest in it. I did not look forward to picking it up, and so I would say if this is one you were curious about, definitely give it a shot. I would just encourage you to borrow it from your library first, just to make sure it's one you're going to love and reread before grabbing your own copy. This next one, A Labyrinth of Silence and Sorcery by Craddick, the majority of it I read in August. I think I finished this one on the first couple of days of September, so it carried over. I knew I was going to love it. I loved the first one in this series. I knew I was going to love the second one. I had no idea I was going to love the second one this much. All of my beloved characters from the first book return in this one, and the author gave me a whole pack of new characters to love and become invested in. I am desperate to get to the third book in the series, so as soon as I can do that, I will be finishing this trilogy, although I'm going to be very sad when it's over, but at least I have the beautiful hardbacks gifted to me by my friend Kate to cherish and reread anytime that I like. And then the next one that I read that I loved, my first time through the illustrated version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Oh my dear friends, whenever you decide you're feeling nostalgic, you want to return to the wizarding world of Harry Potter, the illustrated version is the way to go. I took it one chapter per day just so that I could take my time and study all of the beautiful illustrations of Jim Kay. I would frame over half this dang book if I could. They're gorgeous, just absolutely gorgeous. The only way to go in my opinion. And the final book that I read in the month of September was a huge hit for me, The Legend of Blackjack by A.R. Whittle. This very well may be my favorite fantasy coming of age story that I have read. It's a tale you're gonna fall in love with. It's full of adventure and excitement, mistakes made, lessons learned, found family. Oh my goodness, it was just absolutely wonderful. I saved it for last because I knew it was going to be my favorite read just from reading the synopsis. I was not wrong. It was my absolute favorite read of the month, and if you've been watching the whole entire video, you know it had some stiff competition. Y'all, that is gonna do it for me and all of the books that I read in the month of September. Did I read some of your favorites? Hopefully I loved them as much as you did. If any of the books that I mentioned that I really enjoyed, that you've read something similar to recommend to me, please drop those down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.